Going on, everybody? Today is Thursday, March 5th, 2026. So we're 3 months into 2026. And as we enter March, you might want to look back and ask yourself, what have I done this year? What have I learned? Have I achieved my goals? What am I doing? And if you realize that, hey, I've really done much or achieved much so far this year, and you might want to start doing something. And something that you could do is you could start a side hustle. And that is today's topic of discussion. So, what about side hustles? What are they? Why are we talking about this? And we're talking about this because I think you can really get a lot out of um, a side hustle if you just put a little bit of time into it. Not a lot of time, just a little bit every day. Um, so I think more people should try a side hustle. So a side hustle is really just anything outside of work or your main occupation, like if you're in school or if you have a job. It's pretty much like what you work on outside of that. So whether it's business orientated, passion orientated, or you just want a good legacy in your life. And I really think they can get you whatever you want. Well, I know they can get you what you want. It's just a question of how hard are you willing to work to get what you want. So if you're watching this video, you probably know anything you want in life is going to take a degree of work. There is a real relationship between the amount of work you put in and getting what you actually want in life. So what a side hustle does, it helps structure this relationship between the work and what you want in life in a way that makes it seem very achievable and much easier to achieve. And what does that look like? And it comes down to really one word: goals. Goals, 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 everybody. You need to have goals in order for a side hustle to work. You need to have goals in order for this to work. It is a mandatory thing. Because what goals do is it makes it seem like the thing you want to do is much more achievable and realistic than it may sound like. So, there's two types of goals I want to talk about: short and long term. Let's start with long term. So, think of your long term goal as like your dream for your side hustle. And let me give you an example. So, let's say you're someone who is completely new to music, and a long term goal with that may be you want to play on a big stage within the next 2 to 3 years. So, that could be a good long term goal. It's long, it's measurable with time, and you have a good idea of what you want to achieve in that time frame. And now we move to the other type of goal: short term goals. Short term goals are crucial for achieving your dream with your side hustle. Let me repeat: short term goals are crucial. Build habits. Habits are everything. Habits come with short term goals. So think of these short term goals as the things you want to do within a few weeks or months of your side hustle. So let's go back to the music example with the long term goal. So if you're someone who, like, you're completely new to music, right? With my example earlier, you want to play on a big stage in the next 2 to 3 years. So a short term goal for that person may look like learn the basics of music theory within the next 2 to 3 weeks. That is a very good short term goal. So, one thing I want to add to with short term and long term goals, there isn't really a right or wrong time frame to use. It's really just up to whatever you think is best and is appropriate for that goal. So just go at your own pace, but set a time frame because you want to keep yourself accountable and you want to make sure you're actually doing it. But be realistic when setting that time frame for your goals. So eventually when you complete your first short-term goal, you're going to want to make another short-term goal. And eventually all these short-term goals will stack up and you'll really see the progress you're making. And then it's really easy from there because you gain a lot of confidence in yourself, and the bridge between your dream and yourself starts getting slowly starts closing, and it just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller with every short-term goal you stack. And eventually you stack that tower high enough, you reach your dream. And trust me, once you really start seeing some progress in yourself, you really start getting motivated because it seems very achievable. Like, you will surprise yourself with how capable you are as a human. I know I did. I'm not going to lie. I'm naturally a very lazy person, but ever since the year 2024-ish, I want to say, I've been a lot more disciplined as a person. Um and really this year too. Um Last year I picked up music, like music production, and I really surprised myself with how much music production I've learned in a year. Cuz I picked it up last March and now I'm making songs, full complete songs, and I didn't know anything about music last March. I didn't know a note, I didn't know what chords were. I had no knowledge of music theory. I had no idea. I'm not saying I'm a music expert now, but I can make an okay song. Not a great song, just an okay one. But I did surprise myself, and I'm sure you can too. So my side hustle, I do a little bit of music. I make a little EDM music. I stream sometimes. I post videos on this YouTube channel. So I do a lot of different things, but I always tell myself something is all I need to do is at least 15 to 20 minutes of work today. Not too much, but just 15 to 20 minutes. But this method, the 20-minute a day method, or I call it that, but other people may call it something different. But I call it the 20-minute a day method. All you need to do is work on your side hustle for 15 to 20 minutes starting out. And if you want to do more after that and you're flowing and you're locked in, then do as much as you want until you really get burnt out and you don't feel like you want to do it anymore. Because when you're laying in your bed at the end of the day and you're thinking about what you did in the day, and let's say you didn't work on your side hustle today, you're going to be in your bed thinking, fuck, I really wish I would have worked on my side hustle. But if you just do a little bit of work, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, and even though you didn't want to do it and it was really hard, you can, and you don't even really have to get anything done necessarily in those 15 to 20 minutes. You just have to try to do it. You can at least say at the end of your day, "Hey, I tried when I didn't want to, and that was really hard, but I did try." And it's going to be hard at first, and you probably won't get too much done and you're going to fail. But it's going to get easier as time goes on. And you're going to get more motivated and more passionate about what you're doing. And you will figure it out if you put the work in. So you might be wondering, how do you know that after so much hard work, your side hustle will really work out? Well, that's the big thing, is that if it'll ever work out. That's what everybody asks themselves whenever they start to do a side hustle. But if you take a look at all the thousands of examples of people that made their side hustles into their full time career and are flourishing with that, you kind of see that they're not really different. They're really not that different from you. And most people that made it are really normal. They just really grinded hard and put in the extra hours and work to do what's necessary to make it in their niche or side hustle. So, for example, let's take a look at Alex Pereira. So, if you don't know Alex Pereira, he's the UFC light heavyweight champion, or was. He just vacated the belt, but he was about 22 years old when he started kickboxing, which is, I don't know if you're not familiar with kickboxing, that is very, very late to start a kickboxing career. It was around 21 or 22 that he started. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of those two ages. But anyway, so Alex Pereira, he's from Brazil, right? Sao Paulo, I'm pretty sure. It's like the capital of Brazil. But so Alex Pereira dropped out of school at the age of 12. And he dropped out of school to help his family's business. His family owned like a tire shop business, and during this time, Alex Pereira became a very heavy alcoholic, and he didn't really have much hope for his future until he started kickboxing. And all he did was pick up kickboxing and put in the work. And you got to remember, before the fame and all this money and all this stardom, Alex Pereira was just a normal guy. He was just some fucking poor bastard who was living in a slum. So if he can make it, then I think you probably can as well. And Alex Pereira is just one of the thousands, probably tens of thousands of examples of somebody who had a side hustle, put in the work, and it finally paid off. I mean, just look at guys like Eminem. Eminem came from nothing, and now he's one of the biggest rappers in the world. So, what did we talk about today? Side hustles. You can do it. It's very much more achievable than you think. I believe in you, whoever's watching this. I really think that you can surprise yourself if you really just put the work in for a little bit. And I think you should at least try it, whoever's watching this. So, whoever's watching this, I want you to pick something and I want you to try working on it every single day for 15 to 20 minutes. And it can be very basic. It could just be a book or something. Or literally just writing in a journal or drawing. Just try something. Try something, please. And stick to it, and you will see how capable you are as a human being. And please, please, please try something new because I promise you, all these other famous people, all these other people who have accomplished their dreams, they are just like you. But you did not put in the work, and they did. So, thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time for the next video. See ya!